Look, I'm not wearing a suit for the Capital One Cup final, and that's that. Hello and welcome to Season 16, Episode 8 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have the Capital One final against Man United, whoever they are, and the first leg of the first knockout round of the Champions League away against Galatasaray. That one comes up first. It's actually been quite a while since you were last with me, mainly because I wanted to get to the point where we had some interesting games again. Form has been pretty handy going into this. We've tried our absolute hardest to get knocked out of the Capital One Cup, but couldn't quite manage it. In fact, we beat Chelsea over two legs, a 4-1 win with an Ayrton hat-trick in the first leg, and then a 0-0 draw away at, I think they're still at Stamford Bridge. Got us this far. League form has also been pretty tasty. We've had some 6-0s in there, a 5-0, a 5-1. We're scoring lots of goals still. We have been knocked out of the FA Cup by Ipswich, which we're all going to pretend didn't happen. I'm glad that one wasn't a live com. But the Premier League at the moment, with 12 games to go, we are still top of the league. And we're 6 points clear as well. And most importantly, 10 points clear of Chelsea. So Aston Villa and Everton are our nearest challengers. And hopefully, this is going to be the year. Look at that on the average ratings. Ayrton, Gilberto and Merteza as the top three. Ayrton's got 21 assists in the Premier League already this season. He has absolutely upped his game since Lazarov has come along. And it's quite funny watching the two of them play together. Lazarov's not going to be playing, at least in the first of the games today, just because there's no point in him being in the side, because as soon as he gets near the ball, Ayrton takes it off him and crosses it onto João Roberto's head. It's quite amusing. So we're going with Ron Osborne, as we have been for a little while now, just because he offers a little bit more defensive stability behind Ayrton. And we kind of have a back three with Riederwald, or usually Merteza, but Riederwald today, running past and being our width on the left-hand side. Ayrton's our width on the right. And Putu just hangs around here next to Gilberto now. We've got Ortega up front today because João Roberto has picked up an injury. I can't remember what the injury is. Where is he? He's going to be out for 6 to 7 weeks with a dislocated shoulder, which is a bit of a problem. But luckily, Ortega is back and back in form and scoring goals again. So the team that we're playing for the Galatasaray game: Donnarumma in goal, Riederwald, Martelli, Murat, and Osborne in defence. Koulibaly and Bradford in midfield because Jans is suspended for this first leg, and then Umputu, Gilberto, and Ayrton behind Cesar Ortega. So let's get into this game, and then I'll continue my internal conflict about whether or not I should be wearing a suit for the Capital One Cup final. Personally, I don't think I should be, because the board don't care if we win it or not. But then it's Man United, and it's at Wembley, and it will be our first proper trophy with Man City if we are able to win it. But, you know, I've been trying also. We've been playing the reserves. Even against Chelsea in the semi-final, we played the reserves. Or as close to the reserves as we can get when we're actually operating on quite a small squad. So it's only the Capital One Cup. This is the more important of the two games as far as I'm concerned. We basically need to not lose against Galatasaray. It would be good to pick up an away goal, but a 0-0 will be fine. We've obviously got them in the home leg in about a month's time. Oh, there's our away goal though. Ron Osborne. After all this, no point playing Lazarov because right backs don't get any crosses in. Ron Osborne with the cross. Onto the head, I think, of Gilberto. Let's have a look at it in 3D and then we'll find out. So ball comes out to Osborne. I don't know where Ayrton is. I think he's hovering around in the middle, and Gilberto comes in, leaping like a salmon to put us 1-0 up after 5 minutes away at Galatasaray. That is about as good a start as we could possibly hope for. Ortega's had a Lazio cut. Has he always had the Lazio? This is interesting. Do we have to rename that haircut? Is it the Ortega now? Let me know in the comments. Is it the Ortega or is it the Lazio? Personally, I think it will probably always be referred to as the Lazio, despite the fact he can't get into the Ipswich team anymore. And has barely played since I left, actually. Me leaving Ipswich has ruined his career more than anyone else's. He was a folk hero while I was there, and now he's just the fourth choice striker because Oliveira now gets in ahead of him, as do Fall and Arendt. Never mind, We'll call it the Ortega from now on. I might have more joy with the barbers. I need another haircut. I'll perhaps walk in. I won't ask for the Lazio this time. I'll ask for the Ortega and see if, with him being a bigger name in the footballing world, perhaps he'll know what I mean then, and I'll come out with a very stylish new haircut. Right, well, that seems to have taken us to half-time. What an uneventful first half that has been. The important thing is we're 1-0 up. And to be honest, we'll be quite happy not to see another highlight for the rest of this game. Because if we can come away from Galatasaray 1-0 ahead, that will be an awesome result. And sets us up very nicely for the return fixture. And allows us to start preparing for Man United in our first proper final in the 18 months or so we've been at Man City now. It's about time we won a trophy. We were winning them every year at Ipswich. Let's get back into the winning at least a couple of trophies every year habit at Man City, because if we come out of this season, the way it's gone, if we come out of this with only the Capital One Cup, that will be devastating and will probably lead to me getting sacked. We need to win the league this season. Right, starting to think substitution terms. Ortega looks like he's going to be coming off. He's barely touched the ball. Which I guess shows we're doing all right defensively because he's not needed to. Who is Stephen Dowling, I hear you ask? He is a youngster. Let's have a look at him. 17-year-old English striker at Manchester City. Who would have thought? Wow. Hang about. Hold the phone. He's been on loan at Bolton this season. Bolton are in the National League North. How is that? Wow. Bolton are not having a good time of it, are they? In fact, they're in danger of falling out the bottom of the pyramid completely. I don't understand how that's happened, but that is not good if you're a Bolton Wanderers fan. Right, let's make that substitution. That was a distraction. I wasn't expecting to see that. And Putu can come off as well for Van Inzerillen. And hopefully we're just going to ride this game out now. It looks like Van Inzerillen's getting slightly better at playing on the left wing as well. He's moved up a notch on his little whirly thing that we have on there. So, he's only been training in that position for 18 months. He was bound to pick up an extra notch at some point. At this rate, he'll be comfortable playing there roughly by his 40th birthday. Oh, see, we conceded a goal now. Again, still not a disaster. If you'd have offered me a 1-1 draw at the start of the game, I'd have taken it from you. I didn't hear anyone offering, just for the record. That was just all a bit sloppy. Is Donnarumma wearing yellow gloves? Is that a thing? Do goalkeepers wear stupid coloured gloves in the future? Perhaps they do it now, and I've just never noticed. Right, Koulibaly's going to come off. We're going to bring Nathan Wilkes on. Old school Manchester City midfield there. I think that might be the first time these two have played together this season. Obviously, apart from for England, where Wilkes and Bradford is very much my first choice midfield, because Man City are much better than England, as we all know. Don't get another goal here, unless you're Manchester City. Manchester City can get another goal here. Is our third kit another blue kit? What is the point of that, and why aren't we just wearing the home kit? European football is stupid. There's no reason for us to not be wearing the home kit today, but I guess this sells a few third choice shirts that only get worn in obscure away games. No. There we go. And that's the first time I've seen him touch the ball all game long. And come out of it with a 1-1. A perfectly respectable 1-1 draw away at Galatasaray. And now we can start preparing for Manchester United at Wembley. That Bolton thing's got me all interested. So I've done a bit of sleuthing. The next most interesting thing that's happened, I think, is Salford are up to... Well, they're fighting for a playoff place. In League Two, having climbed lots and lots of places up the league. They've got Gunther Thiaidi, who was, we had him at Ipswich, if I remember rightly. He's their key player. Look at that, Bayern Munich, Ipswich, Salford. Oh, he's at Exeter as well. What do you know? We'll just leave this on the screen for a minute, just as something for Dr. Benji to have a look at. See, it would have all happened without him. He says, managing Manchester City to not winning any trophies yet. But that's beside the point. Salford are on the up anyway. Right, cup final. This is more important. We're playing Manchester United. We've got our first choice team, or at least the first choice that we've got available. Obviously, João Roberto is still injured. But Lazarov comes back into the side at right back, which means Osborne moves back over to centre back, and Enrico Martelli misses out. Jans is back in midfield alongside Koulibaly. And other than that, and Mateza's come back in as well. So it's the first time all season we've played our first choice team in the Capital One Cup. Probably means we're going to lose, because I've made it very clear to the players that we're not really bothered by the teams that we've played all season. But, it's Man United. Any other team in the final, we probably wouldn't be as bothered. I want to beat Manchester United more than I want to win this trophy. And I pretty much said as much in the pre-match press conference as well. So I'm hoping that doesn't come back and bite us and I've put too much pressure on the players. But I have put a lot of pressure on the players. That's an interesting corner. Hopefully they don't, see, this isn't good. Loose is the player we need to keep an eye on. I would very much like to sign him. We tried to sign him from Rotherham when I was at Ipswich. He was 20 years old, then Belgian wonder kid. He's probably 23, 24 now. Man United star player, scores an absolute hatful of goals. I'm hoping at some point he'll get fed up of not playing in the Champions League and might be enticed to come over. He won't even have to move house, let's face it. So, fingers crossed. Fingers weren't even high enough. I haven't done that on screen for ages. That used to be a 4 or 5 times a season thing. That was a close one. Right. I care about this more than I should. I don't know if this is going to have any impact on Hall of Fame points or anything like that. I've kind of decided that's how we're going to decide when legendary status is achieved. Ayrton is in. But we're gunning for being top of the Hall of Fame now. I don't know if the Capital One Cup gives us any points for that. I know back in the olden days, the last time I cared about the Hall of Fame, so we're going back 10 years of Football Manager probably, winning secondary cup competitions didn't make any difference. But I know I've got a couple of points from winning the Conference North 16 seasons ago, and you never used to get points for that either, I don't think. So clearly they're giving points out like Smarties these days, so it might be worth winning this just purely to pick up couple of extra Hall of Fame points. Oh no! Lazarov's injured again. If Ipswich pulled a fast one on me here, because he is just an injury machine since he's arrived at City. In fact, since I left Ipswich. I mean, he never really got injured when he was at Ipswich, but I think I left around here. He's had more than half his career injuries since I left Ipswich. Oh, that's not good. Right, we'll just bring Martelli on and just go back to this. I mean, that's the back four we've been playing a lot recently anyway, so hopefully it's not going to upset the team too much, but I really wanted to see Lazarov come into this Man City side and just to start tearing things up. I don't know that it's going to happen for him. He's 28 years old now. He's basically missed this whole season through injury. If that's a broken foot, which I assume it probably is, that's him done for the rest of the season as well. He's running out of time to make an impression at Ipswich. At Man City. I think he made an impression at Ipswich. And that's a real shame. Makes me sad. Right, Ron Osborne, crossing position. I mean, for a centre-back, he's got a cross on him. Umputu is in, makes it 2-0. We've had 2 clear-cut chances. We've scored 2 goals. Has anyone seen Cesar Ortega? Because I've not noticed him in either of these live comms so far this episode. I'm fairly confident he's in the team, but you wouldn't know it to look at this. And it's a little bit different from when João Roberto was there, banging in goals constantly. And it's a slight concern, because he was in really good form before he got injured. He came back into the side with a couple of goals, but these last couple of games, against bigger opposition in bigger, more important games, I don't know. I hope we've not got another one of these who's afraid of big games. Oh, we're 3-0 up. Murat. I don't ever remember him scoring before. He obviously has, because it's his second goal of the season. But we're 3-0 up now. This is showing the gulf of class between the two big Manchester teams now. Place bets now. How long until Salford are the second biggest team in Manchester, if trends carry on as they are? Because they'll probably go up this season. That puts them up to League One. United are a poor mid-table Premier League team now. They're probably like 5th. And I'm speaking down to them as in my. I have no loyalty to either Manchester team in real life. Couldn't care less about either of them, but I can't help but want them to lose. Now I'm Man City manager. It'll all change when I'm Man United manager in 10 seasons time. Right, Jans is going to come off now. We'll bring Lewis Bradford on for him. Swap those two over. That seems to be a fairly regular substitution these days. Give Koulibaly his 20-25 minutes playing as the deep-lying playmaker he wants to be. He finished runner-up for World Player of the Year, by the way, which I don't remember mentioning. But that was a bit of an odd one, because I wouldn't say he's runner-up for Manchester City Player of the Season. But clearly the rest of the world seems to disagree. He must have just been tearing it up for, I want to say Schalke. I need to check now. Who was he playing for before he came to us? Wolfsburg. There you go. He obviously had a crack in time for them before he arrived. I think it's safe to say we've wrapped up the Capital One Cup now. I almost feel like I should put on a tie for the trophy presentation, but you know, I've still got Thierry Ambrose's tie around somewhere. That's probably still appropriate, being at Manchester City, because it's where it all started for him, obviously, before he arrived at Ipswich in a blaze of glory. There we go. Gilberto finishes joint top scorer in the competition. We've won a trophy, our first proper trophy at Manchester City. Does it make any oh, there you go. We've celebrated a double. Tell me they're not including the Community Shield in that. I mean, that, if ever there's a double that a team wanted to win, the Capital One Cup and FA Community Shield combo, I mean, that's right up there. That's the one we all wanted. Lazarov has broken his ankle. He's out for 2 to 3 months. For goodness sake. Yeah, don't worry about your injury. You're probably never going to play for us again. Does it mention anything about Hall of Fame stuff? It doesn't. Nah. Never mind. Well, we've won a trophy. If you've enjoyed that, and if you've enjoyed the run to the I mean, we've just won a double. Winning the double is worth a like. I'm sure you'll agree. So pop a like down there. While you're there, hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't done so already. And thank you very much for watching.